So my name is Ratul Mahajan. I am one of the co-directors of UW FOCI Center, along with Arvind Krishnamurthy and Simon Peter, officially, and Tom Anderson unofficially. This is our kind of second year doing this. We kicked off last year, which was a great year. We'll report some progress. But to just level set a little bit, I think, as to why we started this center, our main goal was to do more impactful, bigger, deeper things than typical academic research. Fun, one-off, cute ideas are fun to write about, but the path to impact tends to be not there, or you don't control it as much. So our primary motive was to be able to collectively do bigger things that us as individuals or individual students cannot do. So that was kind of foundational thought going in. But there's a lot of ways of doing it. I think when we kind of thought about what we want to do, I think cloud computing stood out in there. Mainly because I think cloud, over the last few years, is basically the dominant vehicle and the dominant adopter of pretty much all computing technology coming out of it. Like, if you do systems work, you have to have a cloud angle. Otherwise, things get really, really kind of tricky. So I think it's not cloud in that sense. I think it's not a constraining thing for us, the way we kind of think about it, but it is actually a vehicle to impact, because that's where a lot of the activity is. Now, you might ask, there are all forms of pervasive technologies in there. I think the other exciting thing about cloud being, apart from the dominant paradigm, is the following. So when I was a grad student, I used to do kind of research on the internet, which was the pervasive computing platform or networking. But the disappointing thing about the internet was ossified in the way that was very, very difficult to actually, for researchers to kind of make an impact. But I think cloud's very different. It is constantly in the move and will be on the move, and there's so many forces driving change that provides an opportunity for impact. And new workloads keep coming up. And I think last I checked, less than a third of world's existing workloads have moved to cloud. So there's 2/3 kind of left out there. But it's not just that, right? Like, new things are coming up as well that don't exist. We all know about Gen AI, LLMs, and so forth. These images, by the way, are all generated by Gen AI using those exact prompts there. So you could go double check. So this was DALL-E as of last year. So your mileage may vary, or maybe things have gotten a lot better. But the point is, because this is dominant and it's on the move, it is an opportunity for researchers to get involved and actually have an impact. So new workloads coming in, new concerns around energy. So today, for those of us who pay attention, like, energy, or the total amount of energy you can buy at a site, is basically dictates how big a data center you can build, period, right? Like, so it's not so much about cost. It's basically a basic, a blocker, how you build it, how you do things. They're all driven by, this thing, which, at least 5-6 years ago, cloud providers were not worried about. There's a lot of hardware innovation happening, with the end of Moore's law and Dennard scaling, as well as in quest for cost and efficiency, a lot of drive towards hardware. And of course, new middleware and systems keep coming as well. So that was essentially kind of the thinking behind White Cloud. The final piece in our thinking for FOCI was how to actually do this. This is where we thought working deeply and engaging deeply with a few partners was kind of the way to go. I think I was an industrial researcher first, so I think I can tell you, industry has unmatched insight into short-term and long-term problems and technology trends that is very, very difficult to actually have from the outside. But at the same time, I think academia, places like University of Washington, we have a lot of strength in terms of how deeply and quickly and cheaply we can prototype. We can afford to take a longer-term impact. So the right way to do things was to actually establish a partnership by which we could work across a few select partners, and we're lucky to have these 6 partners in Alibaba, Amazon, Cisco, Google, Microsoft, and VMware, and work really tightly with them, and there'll be a flow of ideas, people, prototypes, algorithms, code, and we can work together and have fun and have impact. So that was the thinking. So this was the ground thing, and now I think the past year has been great. And to just some objective numbers, I think it doesn't really capture the intangibles, but in terms of just the progress we've made, I think Amazon was not a partner, so we got Amazon signed on. as a partner, excited by the vision and the presence of maybe other partners in there. So we did that. We identified 4 research areas where we are going to put most of our muscle behind. And I think half of the program today would be giving you updates on our thinking and how much progress we made and what we plan to do over the next year or 2 years. So this is and that half is from our perspective, is the primary kind of motivation. We would love everybody's feedback on it, what we're doing, how we could do better, how we can engage your companies better as well. So so that'll be kind of second half of the program. And of course, I think along the way, as we were kind of executing on this, 20 plus kind of research papers, which we see as a byproduct of what we're kind of doing. And of course, but more than that, I think this goes to kind of impact. I think like 7 of those or more of those, actually, it's hard to keep track, honestly. So I kind of just do lower bound numbers on a lot of those papers and works, they actually are resulting in deployments inside partner companies and outside. Most of our work leads to open source software out there as well, so other people can play more broadly as well in there. And we've also bootstrapped with partner companies and beyond at least kind of 4 joint collaborations on these research areas that we are kind of investigating in there. So all of that has kind of been really fun, so it'd be kind of things there. But even more fun, so this is what the agenda looks like. So one of the things I think we tried out to do these topical workshops. So one of the research areas that you'll hear about is application networking. So I think FOCI gives us an opportunity to actually even create topical events. This is just a snapshot of the agenda where basically in the broader industry, you can think about folks at Google, creator of Envoy, where service mesh is an application network dominant paradigm, folks from Cilium and Isovalent coming in and basically engaging with us at the center. And we did one of these to essentially both kind of understand where the landscape is, because like I said, we do want to do stuff that matters, but also an opportunity to kind of learn and evangelize kind of some of our ideas. Quick heads up on that, I think our second topical workshop is going to be on energy, and we are currently planning to do that end of January. Is that the plan? Yeah, so okay, so beginning of January somewhere. So keep an eye out, or just let Simon or I know if you're interested in attending that one. We'll definitely invite you folks, but also I think some broader people beyond, so kind of learn. So that'd be kind of second topical event. Finally, all that work takes people. So I think on the back of FOCI, we had a very strong recruiting year. By the way, kind of coming to academia, I've learned computing academic yields, I don't think any ML model could ever predict the yield. So we had a good year, and that's great. I think a lot of these students are very, very strong. So this is our incoming class into FOCI. I think these are pretty much everybody had great offers from all the other top schools. And for a lot of them, I think the existence of FOCI and the partnership with our companies and the type of work we do was a key draw towards joining FOCI. So that was kind of great. We can actually build strength as we go along. And in terms of keeping on this theme, we had 3 postdocs join us. I think all of them must be in the room. There's Sam, Jongyu, and Tiano. And this, again, kinds of things we can do and do kind of bigger things with their support. Now, you might be wondering, where is all the mentoring and advising bandwidth coming from? So on that front, I think Barish started this year at FOCI and UW Systems more broadly. And he was for those of you who know, he was at Michigan. So moved from Michigan to here, has done a bunch of great work there. And we hope continue to do that here. In addition, Stephanie, who's here, who'll also give a talk later, and Barish will as well. And Stephanie is going to join us next year. And she's just graduated from Berkeley, doing Anyscale and Ray. And so we're kind of really excited that we can add to the roster here and do bigger things. Okay, so with that said, this is essentially the day today is divided into 2 halves. The first half are not on our work. These talks are a way for us for everybody, including kind of students and other partners, to get a pulse on what's been happening. So we'll get talks from Dave Patterson, Dave Malls, Stephanie, and Sudeep Tavdas, Amazon. So kind of learn what's top of mind for these folks who who've been working in industry or doing different things, essentially. The second half of the day is where we'll dive a little bit deeper into the 4 research areas, being application networking, energy, accelerators in the cloud, and hardware reliability. And that's kind of second half program. You'll hear about the work we have done and the work, more importantly, like I said earlier, the work we are planning on doing for the next year or two, and there. And with that, I will end and we'll get started, unless somebody has a quick question or something.